can be the ideal target for United. The two names that Man United internally consider as fantastic options are Aurelien Tchouameni, but I told you the problem is the salary, and at the moment no green light from Real Madrid, and also Alex Scott is also highly rated by Arsenal and by Manchester United. Alex Scott has many clubs around him this summer, but Bournemouth insists they want to keep the player and they want to offer him a new contract. Let's see if Bournemouth will be able to keep him, because one thing is to say that, one thing is in the next 2 months resist in case they receive big proposals, but Alex Scott is one of the players considered internally by Arsenal and by Man United. Both clubs like him. At the moment, from Bournemouth is no, he's not leaving. But in case they open doors to an exit for big money, we have to follow these two clubs, keen eventually on Alex Scott. Then guys, more...
Well, as the World Cup moves into the latter stages, business is starting to heat up in the Premier League. For more on the latest transfer news, as you can see, I'm joined by James Savundra. James, we've seen some major midfield moves already in the Premier League. Looking like Manchester United might be next in line to make a move. Who are they looking at?
Well, Aurelien Tchouameni and Alex Scott remain very high on their list of midfield targets. They've missed out on Mateus Fernandes. He's joining Tottenham. We've seen Elliot Anderson go to Manchester City. Sandro Tonali will be confirmed very soon as a Spurs player as well. And we know midfield is the priority for Manchester United in this transfer window. So I mentioned those two players there. In terms of other players on this list, Felix Metscher, Ayoub Boadi, Sander Berge at Fulham and Eduardo Camavinga at Real Madrid. Now, the situation around the two Real Madrid players is slightly confused here because Real Madrid themselves are looking for a revamp in midfield this summer. So if they are to bring in a midfielder, we know they've been looking at the likes of Rodri. They put out a statement about Enzo Fernandez, which we'll get on to later today. But if there is room for them to move on one midfielder, it's felt Camavinga could be the player who departs. So that could be a potential alternative for Manchester United. But it feels like Alex Scott and Tchouameni are two of the top targets right now.
We've got some breaking news for you.
A deep line midfielder, very technically gifted, but it's his passing ability that should excite, and long-range passing. He rarely gives the ball away. He's in Liga and he's in the sort of the top percentiles for ball retention, but also the number of balls he plays forward as well. So it's not just keeping hold of the ball, but also passing it in the right way to start attacks as well. So he's 24, as Mark said. He's just playing some of the best football in his career. He's now part of the Brazil squad. It's the kind of move I think at the beginning of the window would have been loved to have seen come through the door. Might have taken a bit longer to get to this stage, but it's the kind of target then that kind of not horrifically expensive, not 50, 60 million pounds, but around 30, just over around 33 million pounds potentially for this deal. And if he becomes brilliant and he ever wants to leave, they can potentially get even more from it if he continues to develop.
Manchester United have once again found themselves at the centre of transfer speculation, with Bournemouth midfielder Alex Scott emerging as one of the latest names, linked with a move to Old Trafford. Although there has been no official confirmation from either Manchester United or Bournemouth regarding a transfer, reports have fueled widespread discussion among supporters about whether the highly rated English midfielder could strengthen United's squad ahead of the new season. As the summer transfer window continues, Manchester United are expected to reinforce several key positions, with midfield remaining one of the club's top priorities. The 21-year-old has enjoyed an impressive rise in English football. His calmness in possession, intelligent movement, accurate passing, and willingness to press opponents have made him one of England's most promising midfield prospects. One of Scott's biggest strengths is his versatility. His ability to carry the ball forward, link defense with attack, and create opportunities makes him an attractive option for clubs looking to build for both the present and the future. For Manchester United, adding a young midfielder like Scott could fit perfectly into a long-term rebuilding strategy. Experience and potential for further improvement make him an appealing candidate. Michael Carrick's style of football places great emphasis on high pressing, quick transitions, technical ability, and intelligent positioning. However, completing any deal would likely prove challenging. Bournemouth view Alex Scott as one of their most valuable young players, and would have little incentive to sell unless they received a significant offer. At this stage, supporters should remember that the reports remain speculative. Even so, the speculation highlights Manchester United's continued search for midfield reinforcements. Whether Alex Scott eventually arrives at Old Trafford or not, the club is expected to remain active in the market as Amram continues shaping his squad for the challenges ahead. For now, fans will be watching closely to see whether the rumors gather further momentum, or whether Scott remains at Bournemouth for another season. Until official announcements are made, any reported move should be treated as speculation rather than a completed transfer.